Morning, everyone. We are in the car. We are on our way to Washington, D.C. My husband planned a surprise kind of weekend trip for this weekend. Purpose of the trip really is pretty cool. Sunday is Family Pass Holder Day for Wreaths Across America at Arlington. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before. My dad is actually buried in Arlington, so this is really, really cool that we get to visit on this day and lay a wreath for Christmas. I'm honored. I'm excited to do it. We've been meaning to get here and we just haven't with COVID and all that. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's not a sad weekend. We're excited. We're going to do some other fun things as well, but mainly it's about Sunday. So we're going to take you along for the ride. We got kind of a late little start here. My husband runs a water district, and he got called in last night at like 2:30 in the morning for a water issue. We're not counting on that. So he's a little tired this morning and we got a little bit late start. We're just trying not to hit DC at rush hour. We'll see how that goes. So we're going to take you along for the weekend, see what we get into.
What do you get?
Free parking!
Is it?
We decided to do a tour of the Capitol building. The tour is free, but reservations are highly recommended. We were able to grab a reservation that same morning, but if it was really busy, I'd recommend doing it a few days prior. We saw 3 rooms of the Capitol: the crypt, the rotunda, and the National Statuary Hall. It lasted about an hour and it was well worth it. We had a really good time.
Now, she's not a state statue. She's actually the only one in this building that is actually not the only one in this building, but the only one in this room that is not. She was made by Congress for this cause. She's a national monument rather than a state monument. We know her for sitting down on Montgomery, Alabama bus in 1955, refusing to give up her seat. Right? She's known as a civil rights leader. It's not the only thing she ever did, but this is.
The next morning, we headed to Arlington National Cemetery. Of course, it was pouring down rain. We did wait a little bit to actually enter the cemetery. There were a lot of cars waiting to get in, but actually, it was really neat to see so many license plates from different states taking part in this weekend. Once we got in, it's extremely well run. As you can see, there are just lines of cars and volunteers waiting to hand you your wreaths. So we picked those up and then we headed to where we needed to go. This was actually the first time I was able to visit my dad's headstone since he was buried in 2018. So it was obviously a very emotional morning for me. But I cannot thank my husband enough for planning this weekend. It was such an honor and a privilege to be able to do this, and it will absolutely become a tradition for the future.
Hey y'all, just popping on here at the very end of this video. So I had every intention of really vlogging, all of this weekend and showing you, everything we were doing. And it kind of by day one just fell to the wayside. I actually was like, you know what? I'm not going to vlog. I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to enjoy the weekend. So I just kind of took photos and, you know, clips and things here. And when I got home, I kind of decided I'm just going to put it together as a little video, just mainly for our purposes, you know, me and my husband's, just to kind of remember the little trip we took. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to post it. I'm going to post it on YouTube so we have it. If anyone wants to watch and enjoy, feel free. If they don't, they don't. I'm really not too worried about it. But I put it all together and realized I kind of missed some things, obviously. And there's no context to anything. But so I just wanted to jump on here real quick and give a little bit of extra information. We stayed at the Hilton Garden Inn in Courthouse Plaza. I believe it was technically in Arlington because it was only about a 5-minute drive away. Really nice hotel. Hiltons are normally go-tos for us. They're safe bets. Had a restaurant, bar, nice room. I think there was a pool. I don't know. I didn't know. Had underground parking. There was a metro stop like a block away, so that was perfect. We pretty much parked the car and took the metro into DC, you know, where we needed to go. I think the only time we really drove was to Arlington in the morning, that Sunday morning. So really nice hotel. That first night we got there, we did the Smithsonian Zoo lights. Really, really cool. I think it was only $7 a person. You had to buy tickets ahead of time because it did sell out, but for $7, it was really, really cool. And I believe this was the first year that it actually cost anything because normally it's a Smithsonian, so you don't have to pay to visit the zoo, I don't think, on a normal day. But so $7 per person, awesome, really, really cool. Second day, it was really nice out. We knew it was going to be. So you can kind of see the footage from our day. We took the metro to the closest stop for the National Mall, which is a few blocks away from the Lincoln Memorial. So we did that. Did a lot of walking on this day, a lot of walking. So you can see us walking down the National Mall, some of the monuments. We decided to do the tour of the Capitol, which is very, very cool. I think I showed some of that. And then we actually ended up taking the metro to the Holocaust Museum. I thought maybe I had a picture or video of just the outside of the building, but I don't think I did any kind of filming or videoing, probably for obvious reasons. The museum, it's hard to describe. The museum was incredibly well done, I have to say. Obviously, the museum content is extremely hard. It's extremely tough. It's heartbreaking. It's devastating. It's almost angering in a way, if that makes sense. But the museum itself was fantastic. It's weird to explain it like that, I guess. It's a free museum. You did have to have tickets, I believe time tickets. And we did it towards the end of the day, so we actually only had like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and we needed every second. You could easily spend 3 to 4 hours in this museum. The amount of information and artifacts and displays, I think what shocked me the most was the amount of video there was. I just had no concept of there being video. Like, I don't know why, maybe that's stupid, but there was so much video. So it was, and actually something I noticed, and I commented to my husband when we left, I said, a lot of museums, like the ones we went to the next day, I showed you the Natural History Museum and American History, people were just kind of wandering around, looking at things, browsing, whatever. But this museum, it was a little bit linear, like you did have to follow it pretty closely. And it included just everything leading up to the events of the Holocaust and kind of the aftermath. So it really gave you a good perspective of the entire, what was kind of going on in that time period. But everyone, and it was relatively busy. It was so quiet for one thing, which is understandable. But everyone just really seemed to be reading and watching and observing and absorbing this information. Like, it wasn't just people kind of, looking around wondering. People seemed to be really engrossed in this museum. But like I said, extremely well done museum. I absolutely 100% recommend visiting. You know, I think it's a museum that everyone needs to go to at least once in their lives, and I absolutely recommend it. So must do on a trip to DC. So after that, we were exhausted and we went back, took the metro back to the hotel, and we found like a beer garden brewery type restaurant and just kind of hung out there for a while, had dinner, and then we were back at the hotel, and that was that night. That was Saturday, I believe. So Sunday we did get up and go to Arlington. Of course, it was pouring down rain. I did get a little bit of video in there, but that was just kind of time for us. That's all I can really say about it. It was an emotional morning, I have to say, but just an absolutely wonderful experience. After that, like I said, it was raining, so we drove back to the hotel, took the metro back out, and we did like the Natural History Museum, the American History Museum, things like that. And then we wrapped up that night at an Irish pub near our hotel. It was called Ireland's Four Courts. Highly recommend. We went because we wanted to watch the Bills game, the Buffalo Bills game, but we had lots of drinks, great food, and a lot of football. So we kind of wrapped up that day. I think my dad would have been extremely approved immensely, I guess, of how we ended that day with Guinness and football and food in an Irish pub. I felt him in the Irish pub. I think that was just a wonderful way to end it. So, and the next day, checked out and drove home, and that was about it. So, like I said, I meant to do better vlogging. I'm sorry I didn't, but it was kind of halfway through, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna worry about this. And then at the end, when we got home a few weeks later, it's been a little while, I was like, I kind of wish I would have done more to, even just for us. So I am throwing out there the information I have, the experiences we had. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those below. So thanks for adventuring with us, and we will see you for the next one. Bye, y'all.